So hello everyone, I'm Tofu, welcome back to ArcEnCiel, my rainbow themed island, and today we'll be tackling a big build in the green section of my island in which Lily will live. And it's the first major build I've done on this island since the entrance build, which was many months ago. So let's jump into the area we're going to be building in and start, shall we? But first, let's change our headgear. So as you probably can tell from the thumbnail, this area is going to be very swampy, but the very first thing we're going to be doing are the trees on these cliffs here. So I'm trying to use the glitch technique, so hopefully I'm remembering how to do this correctly. So you'll have to bear with me if I need to then look it up. But the general gist of it is that you do a 3x3 block, you take away one of the corners, as so, round the other corner, and then you put the water down on the level below, and that kind of tricks the game into thinking that there is still that corner there. So, in theory, we should be able to plant the tree here, like so. Fantastic. Then obviously we go down onto the bottom level. We'll then get out our handy dandy and trusted cliff breaking tool. So we'll smash this, and boom, we've got a tree on the edge. So I've actually got a few of these around, so naturally we've just done that one. So I've got one here, I've got one over here, and I've got one over here, and then one on the far left just before the actual entrance to what will be the swamp. So I'm just going to quickly do that, and obviously go for it, plant all the trees and make sure they're on the cliff side, and then I'll be back with you. So jump cut. Okay, so all the trees went into place just perfectly. So obviously we've got that tree where the entrance will be to the swamp. We've got this one up here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 on this cliff. So fantastic. I did attempt to do another glitch that I kind of know about, but I've never actually tried, and honestly I couldn't get it to work. So yeah, the power of editing, obviously I cut that out. But we're going to put this incline here where Hamlet is running, and obviously we'll get this paid. And this little cliff will be where we have our museum and our museum tent. So let's just stab Lloyd for good measure. Deary me. Fantastic, so we've got him paid off. So we've got Lily's home, which we're going to put here. And if my aim would be good, you know. Damn it. Right, I even marked the space where it's meant to go, and I still can't get it right. There we go. So this is the spot. I ended up adding a little bit too much to my marker, but that's fine. Obviously we've still got the tool up and ready, so we'll just get the grass and neaten that up. So I need to move forward a day. We'll obviously talk to Tom Nook, and we can then try and move the museum tent up on that cliff there. And obviously the incline will be fully installed and everything, but just to remind you, this is the glorious tent, and I want everything in this particular section of build to all be green, or you know, mostly green. So we're going for a very green motif. That's the whole point of this island. Obviously we're making various sections, so the green villager, being Lily, will live in the green section, and then the yellow villager, when we eventually get one, will live in the yellow section. Orange, blue, you get the gist. Anyway, I'm going to jump forward a day, obviously talk to Nook about this museum, and yeah, so to add to the chaos of this particular build, I've just noticed that I cannot move the museum tent, and I guess that's because it's still in its tent form. I feel like that's not right, but it must be true because I can't move it, and so I've just got a giant cliff that I have no real plans for, so that's cool. I guess I'm going to move the campsite there, and that will be just where the camp lives, and then I'll have to try and do something with the museum later once I upgrade it to its full form, and then I'll be able to actually move it. And yeah, wasn't expecting that, and that's not cool. And something else I have to notice when we were on the home screen when I loaded up the new day, obviously we had tricked the game into thinking that the tree was on the right level with the whole glitch thing, and then the house has naturally knocked that particular tree out. So we've still got a couple of trees. We've got this one and obviously the one on the left. So it's not the biggest deal. But yeah, the big issue was that I had planned for the museum to live here and it just doesn't. Which, you know, is a pain. But there we go. I guess I will just quickly grab some hedges and I'll fill this little back line here. And then I'll put the camp in front of it and we'll just adapt. So bear with me. Okay, so just putting in the hedges now, and this will be acting as the back fence for the campsite. I'm sure anyone that obviously uses these tree glitches and has kept the museum in its tent state for the entirety of their island, they obviously know the deal that's going on and why I'm struggling. But yeah, these aren't things I do very often, so yeah, I just didn't know. I certainly didn't know anything about the museum. I thought you could just move it, but I guess because it's in its tent form, it doesn't recognise it as a museum, which it just seems really bizarre to me. But there you go, we live and learn. Anyway, I'm just trying to get the perfect space. I guess this will be the perfect space, so this is the spot. Obviously, I've got to get rid of these pathing on the floor, so yep, quick, just change to grass, and we'll get rid of these. Like I said, we'll just adapt, so, you know, that's kind of the fun of this game. It's all about creativity, and now we get to see my creativity at work. Okay, so one quick jump cut later, I have filled my inventory full of various trees, and I'm going to start planting them on these dots. So if you watch my videos, especially my build videos, you may realise that this isn't nearly as structured as my usual builds are. And that's mostly because this area is so massive, it's just really difficult to try and plan everything out. Like usually I would do the build in its entirety and then take photos and then tear it all down and do it in order so that it's just basically follow the inventory and you know, go left to right, everything's in perfect order, boom, like it's easy. However, this one, yeah, is really difficult, and so I'm going to do the trees first, and then I'm going to work on like section by section. I have taken photos of the various like areas basically that I want to build in. So obviously these massive swamp areas, they've all got reference photos, but for the most part I am kind of winging it. Especially when it comes to these sections around the edges. Like, there is so much green space, and I thought if I ended up just filling the entire thing with items, then yeah, it would take forever to not only then try and like do the reference photos, but then try and recreate. So for the most part, like, things are going to be somewhat structured, and then the rest of it is going to be made up on the spot. So let's see how well this goes, shall we? But I do have obviously my tree placements all marked down, so I have a good idea as to how I want all of this. And naturally I'm only using the cedar trees, the spruces, to yeah, give that nice dark green effect as you would expect in a swamp. There's going to be the odd little bit of bamboo here and there, but for the most part it's going to be the cedar trees. I have got one particular tree, just like an apple tree or whatever, hardwood tree, and I've got an idea for that already. So that'll be near Lily's home, and that'll kind of be almost like a fence post for what will be a little garden. That's why I've got the sugarcane. So she's going to have a little sugarcane garden where she grows her own sugarcane. I could have made that the green pumpkins. Again, I just wanted something that was green and kind of fitting for this area. But I went with sugarcane, so there you go. Nope, that's wrong. I want that one to be stunted, so anything with the pink dot will be a stunted tree. I'm going to put the fruit behind it so you can't actually see it. See, it's not going to affect like the player walking over it, so that's fine. Just in case I put a item here. Got another one here, so we'll do that now. And I wanted this area to feel kind of overgrown. Obviously not too much, because I have done a jungle island before and that used so many trees. It was just like, yeah, unbearable, honestly. But there you go. I want it to feel pretty swampy. We actually have a green dot, which is not cool because I have one stunted tree left. So again, that's fine. We'll adapt. That's what this episode is about, apparently. So we'll just throw the nursery apple here. Good stuff. I might move that just behind the tree a little bit later, but I want to just see how I had my original item placement around this part. So yeah, we'll just have a look and quick see of that. This is where I'm going to put the hardwood tree. And because we're in autumn at the moment, it's going to appear orange. However, I'm going to break out the axe. I actually pressed the wrong button there, so good on me. We're just going to get rid of the tree in its entirety, and then, yeah, we obviously have this nice fence like marker. And then we're going to throw down some hedges, and that will become this little garden section. So that's all good. I might end up picking that hedge up and just putting down some dark dirt, just to make it look like she actually uses it as a garden space. In fact, let's do that now. You know, just to add to more chaos, because why not at this point? Things are not going the way I wanted or planned, but that's fine. Okay, fantastic. That's looking a little bit better. And I'm just going to plant some sugarcane just kind of willy-nilly. There's going to be no real rhyme or reason as to where they go. So I generally like mixing it up, and then I'll throw down some weeds, just, you know, every now and again. I think that gives it a little bit more of a realistic touch, because sugarcane isn't going to grow just in neat rows. To be honest, most vegetables and like fruits and things, they're going to do what they want. You know, some seeds are going to grow, some aren't. It's just how it works, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's good enough. I might just add a little bit more dirt path here and then here, and we'll round it off, kind of give it the illusion that this is like the entrance to the garden. Cool. I will need to grab some weeds, maybe a bush, something like that, and just keep this area pretty green. But for now, that's all good. Right, I'm going to run off and fill my inventory with various furniture items, and we're going to work on the actual swamp areas. So, jump cut, see you in 2 seconds. Oh, I can't believe how much chaos has already happened in this build. It's just very disappointing for me. Like, I thought I'd got everything sorted and all planned out, and all was good, but there we go. It's fine. Like I said, we can adapt. We can make it work. Anyway, we're going to be putting down all the items in this particular area of the swamp and the one to the right. And again, everything's going to be very green. So I'm going to have plenty of my handy dandy wheat fields. I actually want that one a little bit closer to the platform. I said closer. I love the wheat fields so much, but like me trying to place them down where I want them is always just a pain. But anyway, we're going to move on to some log stakes. And naturally, I'm going to have the code for this swamp in the description below because I love it so much. It's fantastic. They've done an amazing job. And obviously, if you would like to use it yourself, then yeah, feel free to jump into the description and check out the creator code because it's so well done. It's just, you know, genius. Like, I really envy people that can do this level of like design work with their codes. It's just, yeah, incredible. Okay, so we put down our log stakes. I then have this Kerakorapi. I said that wrong, but it's fine. We're going to place that down. I said place it down, not drop it. I don't think I'm with it today. Like, in all honesty, Mumsy and the little one have got sick again. So they're not feeling particularly great. And I honestly think that, like, they started off with different colds. and halfway through the week, they've then managed to pass each other's cold to one another. And I somehow, like fingers crossed, haven't caught it yet. I got the slight like sniffles and then a runny nose, like a slight sore throat. But honestly, that lasted about a day, and yeah, I can't imagine that's going to last. But we'll see, because you know, but recently my immune system has been better than Mumsy's, so I tend to get over things a little bit quicker than Mumsy does. Like, for some reason, this cold has been plaguing her for a while. I think it's been about, like, just over a week at this point. And, yeah, it's not cool. Like, she's really been run down. And that's the reason she hasn't posted a video in a little while. I am trying to help her on that front. But yeah, it's tough work when obviously she's completely drained, and we are in the Christmas pressure as far as work, so they want you to be in, and if you miss a day during the Christmas pressure, you lose a attendance bonus, which absolutely sucks. So people feel obligated to then show up if they're ill or not. Because, you know, some people can't take that kind of a financial hit like around Christmas time. But it is what it is, unfortunately, and we've just got to roll with it. So maybe the fact that I'm making mistakes and things aren't going the way I want it to, maybe I'm not feeling 100% myself. But who really knows? I feel like I'm going a little bit ahead of myself, but it's fine. Again, that's kind of part of the chaotic build, right? So we're going to have plenty of things. Obviously, it looks like they're poking out of the swampy waters, so these fantastic green mushroom lamps. I'm going to have a few rocks. Obviously, I did the stone tablet earlier. There's going to be a few things just like vines and, yeah, just really good stuff like that. Obviously, plenty of wheat fields, because I love the fact that they look like they're just weeds or poking out of the grass, the ground or the water. Kind of look a little bit like bulrushes. Is that what they're called? I don't know, but yeah, I think you know what I'm trying to say, even if I don't know how to say it myself. But I certainly love the mossy variants for a lot of the items that are going to be in this swampy area. It's just so good. And I've used these small mushroom platforms that I've never really used before. I've never thought they could fit into a build, but yeah, I thought it was very fitting for this particular area. Especially if I then did maybe a like fairy core area as well. I could potentially use them again, maybe the bigger ones as well, but we'd have to see. Right, what else do I have? I have a couple of these fragments, so I'm going to have them just dotted around on a couple of lilies. I think that just adds a little bit of like mystery to these swampy areas. Like, what are they? What are they doing on these lily pads? And they'll also add a little bit of just like ambient light as well. So yeah, again, just a little bit of fun and whimsy. Just trying to work out what these items are, and I don't seem to have reference photos that really show off these particular items. I know I wanted the stone dog around here. Where did it go? There. Cool. So that's like Lily's like lion guardian. I want the gyroid on here, and naturally I've gone with a green boy. Are you telling me that the gyroid can't go on the stump? Oh my god. Okay, I guess we're just going full chaos. Why not? What is this build? Okay. It's fine. I'm going to adapt. Like I said, it's all good. Okay, so for the most part, I've managed to put down the various few items I had. So a little wheat field up here, just kind of like it's encroaching on the land. A mossy stool here, kind of poking out of the waters. And then We have leaf stool, a little bit of moss, some bamboo lamps up here. I've moved the twangoid down onto this bench and just dropped a fragment here. So again, adding a little bit of light, adding a little bit of mystery to the garden as well. So for the most part, that's obviously the swampy area's done. I'm going to then refill my inventory and work on this area. There's a little bit more structured. Obviously, we've got all the trees and everything that I need to put in as well. It's all good. So yeah, excuse me for all the chaos that's happening in this build, but we're going to have another jump cut and I'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay, so I have mostly filled my inventory and we're going to be working on this little section here. So first thing I'm going to do is throw down a load of hedges right down here, and then I'll probably go up on the cliffs and we'll put down all of the trees that I want to put down. But I thought these hedges would be problematic if I don't do them straight away, so that's the reason for that. Anyway, let's jump up onto the cliff here and start throwing down some trees. So I'm hoping that any future builds that I do on this island will not be nearly as chaotic as this one's proving to be. Like, I thought I was going to have a couple of issues, not going to lie, but they seem to be issues where I wasn't expecting them to be, and the things that I thought were going to be really kind of problematic for me just never really occurred. So yeah, that's been weird to say the least, I guess. But again, like I've said plenty of times, it's fine. We're obviously adapting, you know, that's kind of part of the fun, part of the challenge. And yeah, I suppose this kind of thing is going to happen with such a large build. Like I said, I like to meticulously plan things, and it's just not been like feasible to do it that way. But there we go. Right. I do want everything to seem very overgrown, so before I put that bush there, I'm going to just plant down one of these glowing mosses. I want it a little bit bigger than that, so hopefully it won't take too long. They're perfect, that'll do. I'm going to throw down a bush wherever it's gone. There is no rhyme and reason to these bushes. Like, I've just chosen various random bushes just because I like the different shades of green. Right, I'm going to have to put that one in first. Probably should have done this fence before I did the bamboo, but again, it's fine. That's the catchphrase of today, apparently. When everything's going wrong, just take a deep breath and remember, it's fine. Good words to live by, in my opinion. Especially today. Dearie, dearie me. Anyway, let's carry on with this chaotic build. So I'm going to want plenty of green and various different shades of green dotted around. Obviously I'm going to plant a tree here, but before I do that, I'm going to try and put in a mountain standee. This is something I don't really use very much on my islands. I don't think it fits in very well, like a lot of themes, and I'm really struggling to move this, so let's just kind of shift this over, spin it around, push it back. But yeah, I like it, and I really like the grass standees, but the mountains just doesn't feel like I've ever managed to find a theme that particularly works well, because obviously it looks very like set design for like a stage. The grass ones aren't so bad, but yeah, I'm really struggling with this placement. Okay, that's what I wanted, and then we'll just push it back. No, we can't push it back. Okay, remember the catchphrase, all good. We're going to plant down a tree here, and then we'll move down to the little swampy area, and everything will be golden. Okay. I might have a few items that I could plonk in the various spaces here, like weeds and green mums, yeah, we'll do that in a minute. And for some reason, I was finding it really difficult to get just off of that particular cliffside. So again, adding to the chaos, adding to the fun. Feel free to, you know, tell me how much of a fool I am in this particular build, because nothing seems to be going right. I'm going to blame the fact that my wife and my child are ill, so maybe that's had a slight effect on me. But realistically, that's not the case. I'm just being an idiot. But it's fine, right? Oh, dearie me. Okay. Moving on to the actual swamp area. I've got a log stool. We're actually going to place something on top of it. Yes, unlike this log that's being just a pain in the backside. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to have a decayed tree, obviously poking out of the swamp waters because I just love that effect. It's fantastic. We're going to have a wheat field kind of near these little hedges here. Cool. That kind of hides the edge of that particular swamp and hides the hedge a little bit, but you know, it's all good set dressing. You'll obviously notice it if you want to notice it. I think a glowing moss stool will go there. I want a bush up in this corner here. I do want some fencing behind that tree up on the cliff, so I'm going to have to sort that out. But that's fine. We'll obviously cross that bridge when we get there. I'm going to have another bush here, and this will be where we add a little bit of the green wooden fencing. So there's simple wooden fencing, obviously, like I said, in the green variant. Lovely. So we are trying to create a little bit of a path. Obviously, for the most part, it is going to be open, and you will have villagers probably just walking about in the swamp and the codes, which is unfortunate, but I didn't want to just entirely block it off, because this feels a little bit counterintuitive. Like, you've got all these amazing codes, and then you kind of use a fence to block it off. You know, just seems a bit silly. Right, I want another wheat field kind of in the middle, so somewhere like that. Again, trying to poke out of the waters, looking a little bit kind of wild. I do have a bush that I want to go on this little section of the cliff here that's jutting out. Just kind of cover up the squareness a little bit by having the circle of the bush. Cool. Right then. I definitely want a glowing moss here, but I want it a little bit bigger than that. Something like that. Fantastic. And we've got the hedges that I'm going to put behind this tree. And I'm going to have to do it like this, because obviously the tree is in the way. But, because obviously we can move there. Good stuff. I've got green mum. And I've got a couple of other bushes. So, what am I going to do with those bushes? Who really knows? We'd add a hedge there, but then obviously I'm stuck, so... Oh, no. And the annoying thing is, obviously, if I try and pick that hedge up now, I'm going to pick up the green mums, so I might actually have to use the rescue service to save the green mums. Okay, so I'm back from being rescued. I got sent over to the plaza. So, yeah, there's a first time for everything. Certainly on this island, I know I have used that in the past. Mostly off of camera. I have had to do it, I think, once before when I was doing the giant lake build on my jungle-themed island. But for the most part, I'm generally okay at actually escaping my terrible situations. It's all good fun though, right? You know, it's a bit of a laugh. I was going to put a tree there, but then that bamboo lamp probably is going to cause a little bit of havoc, so I'm going to put the tree just one step ahead. Sorry if you heard the clicking there of my Joy-Con. And that, for the most part, is at this area. I do need to pick up a few more weeds and maybe some green mums and some glowing moss and just dot that around. I would like a thing here. I think maybe a green mum there. But I'll do that at the end when I've got a little bit of set dressing to do with like wheat fields, green leaf piles and things like that. So again, I'm just going to run off and fill my inventory, so I'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to do this little peninsula here, and I've obviously added the swamp code just to the end. There's going to be a tree. I'm going to add a few items. This mostly stops the people from just running over this section. You actually have to go through this swamp area if you want to get to the next section, which in my opinion is going to be the yellow section. So I'm probably thinking like a desert area, something like that. I'll try and make it a little bit different from obviously California, the western themed build. So it'll be mostly, yeah, deserty, and I'll try and make it different. Anyway, going to plonk down a tree, a bush, and then a few bits of glowing moss and weeds, and then we'll move on to the cliff section around the campsite, which should have obviously been the museum, but there we go. These things happen, and we adapt. As I've said many a time in this video. I'm also not doing the beach for now. I'm going to do that off camera, because there's already been enough chaos in this build as it is, and frankly, I don't think we need more. Like, I'm sure more will happen regardless, just because it's me, and that's how things go. But yeah, let's try and keep it just a little bit more sensible if we can. Right, so I'm going to put down a few things just first of all. Oh, you see Rudy in the background. My boy. I love that boy. Let's just go into camera mode. There we can see him. What a good boy. Ah. I love him so much. A little bit of peace within the chaos. It's very calming to me. Even though all of this nonsense is happening. Right, stunted tree is going to go here, obviously on the pink dot. I'm going to put the fruit behind it so that you can't see it. Now, I should have had a tree obviously here that was on the cliff edge, but that all went to pot when I put down the house. So what I'm going to do is put the item that was going to live directly behind this garden, which is the pine tree. And I want that spun round if I can. Naturally I can't. Ugh. Okay, I'm having real difficulty placing items, apparently. So, can I spin this round? Yes. Fantastic. We're going to push that over. And now then, we're going to have a tree just here. Because that should work. Cool. I would have loved having one obviously here that was right next to the house and the roof, but apparently the game didn't like that, so yeah. But, you know, these things happen. Right. Anyway, back on with the build. So, I'm going to need more just items to throw around this particular area, because suddenly, like I said, the museum was meant to go here. I still might end up putting the museum there. It just means that I would have to upgrade it all the way until I can then move it. Which, for, you know, the time being, I guess the campsite is fine. But I'll make a decision a little bit later, because I did have ideas for the campsite. But yeah, we'll see how it works. If I really end up liking the campsite living here, then maybe I'll just keep it. Who knows? So another spooky chair. We're going to have a few of the pumpkins and that kind of furniture. I do have a couple of actual green pumpkins as well, just to dot around, but I'll do that again at the end when we're just kind of doing a quick montage of me throwing down items, just to finish it off. Glowing moss, cool. I love the massive variants of these. They just look so good. I would also like one of these giant vines to just live somewhere near the home. Let's just push it back a little bit. Cool, so kind of looks like it's very close to the house. I am going to obviously have to do something about this little section, so maybe I'll grab some hedges. But I could also do with another bush here, honestly. So that's fine for now. I want one of these. So the trick lamp. And I don't really want to use it as the actual trick lamp itself. I just want it as a random bit of set dressing. I've got another pumpkin-like furniture item, so again we're just going to twist that round. So we've got 2 random green pumpkins just on the cliff edge, because why not? I do want a little bit of fencing behind this bamboo. Probably should have done that first, but again it's fine. Can I do one of these bits of hedge here? Perhaps. So it's going to look a little bit strange, but it's fine. Motto of the day, it's fine. Put that on the plaque, sell it, you know, all good. You can keep that, you know, use that for your money-making schemes. Why am I on that? Anyway, let's put down a few just random bits. So we're going to have a wheat field just kind of around here. Again, why not? And what else do I have? Green leaf pile and another wheat field. So we'll have a wheat field kind of close by to the campsite. And then we'll have the green leaf pile here. I kind of want that a little bit further up if I can. Yeah, something like that. We'll add a random couple of weeds. So one there. We'll add a glowing moss around here, near where the campsite will obviously be with the entrance. And we'll just have another weed here. So I will have to go around and obviously put some invisible codes around the weeds so that they don't spread too much. But for the time being it's fine. I'm just going to quickly grab a bush and then obviously you'll see me plant it here. Okay, fabulous. And now I will go and fill my inventory entirely and we'll carry on with the area down below. So mostly doing the area around the big swamp areas. So like this here, obviously down below, around here. Just kind of separating the beach and this swamp area. Hamlet's just sitting in the swampy water because he's just a freak. But a cute freak at that, so yeah. Can't say I blame him, it's fine. Maybe it's refreshing, who knows. Anyway, let's get on with the build itself and not commenting on my freaky villagers. Okay, so we have my inventory filled with various bushes, obviously green mums, and a few little bits of furniture. I do have an entire inventory full worth of furniture, also dotted on the floor. But I guess I'm just going to make this a bit of a speed build section, just because a lot of it is going to be planting bushes and hedges and things like that. So yeah, we'll make it a bit of a montage and I'll just do a quick talk over. And yeah, all is good. And so hello, this is Future Tofu here. And the first thing I've got to say is that gathering items for this build was a massive pain. Obviously it's a very large area, and so naturally there's going to be a few things that I don't have on my islands, despite the fact that I've got 3 islands. However, mums was a massive issue. Turns out I didn't really have any at all. And yeah, I could have ripped some out of Utopia, my finished all sheep island, but I don't really want to do that because I obviously want to play the update on that particular island, just because I think it's a bit more fitting. But anyway, obviously I put down all the fencing down on the left hand side, and then I'm just throwing down lots of plants. So obviously the mums, plenty of glowing moss and weeds and things. I try to mix up like the hedges and the fencing, so the simple wooden fence as well, just to add a little bit of variance, and I put down plenty of wheat fields and like the green leaf piles. And they were another item that I really struggled to get, because it turns out on my free islands I don't have the DIY recipe for them, so I've had to go to a treasure island very specifically for that item. And it turned out that the island I chose didn't really have any other item I wanted, which is very typical, but there we go, we kind of live and learn. So this particular area I really kind of struggled with what I wanted to put down as far as the plants were concerned. I do end up mixing it up a little bit once I go and gather a load of furniture. Once all these plants are actually down, I try and mix up the bushes just to give all that different variants of green. I think I mentioned it earlier as well. So there is no rhyme and reason for which particular plants go where. Obviously when the seasons change, all of them are going to bloom in their respective seasons, and so there's going to be little splashes of colour here and there, just every now and again. I'm not sure when I would set the dream address for on this island, but honestly I've not really thought about it because I wanted to get the builds basically out of the way. Anyway, I've then gathered a load of furniture and I'm starting to plonk a few things down. Obviously plenty of wheat fields, a lot more leaf piles, just trying to give that nice overgrown feeling. I've put down plenty of these vine benches because I think it's very fitting given the setting, obviously being a swamp. I've put a few of them actually into the swamp as if it's like trying to crawl out, as if like the swamp itself is its own living entity and like it's living and breathing and constantly changing. And I just thought that adds a little bit of mystery and a little bit of creepiness, honestly. But yeah, for the most part, it's meant to be just like a magical, whimsical place as well. So I do end up putting things like grass standees just to add a little splash of different colour and obviously height. And then eventually I add some vines onto the cliff, again just trying to make it feel like it's very overgrown. I ended up using every single green mum that I have on this island and about 90% of the bushes, so if I want more bushes for any other build, then I'm definitely going to have to visit more treasure islands in the future. And so guys, let's show off the entire build in its entirety. So obviously we wanted a very wild, natural, overgrown swamp area, and I think we've achieved that kind of look. Plenty of things like wheat fields, glowing moss, green mums and the leaf piles, and we've even got Lily just, you know, hanging out in the swamp. How adorable. Anyway, like I said, I wanted it to feel very overrun and like this area is like completely untamed wilderness. Even though Lily's obviously made her home and she's got like this cute little garden going on, but it is, yeah, very much wild. Weeds growing everywhere. The odd like vine bench looks like it's almost trying to crawl out of the swamp. And then you've got these odd little bits of mystery like the star pieces just on the lily pads. You've got these glowing mushrooms, these glowing stools and things, and obviously plenty of glowing moss, weeds dotted around, and all that good stuff. I have tried to make as much variation of green as possible, so obviously there's a few like grass standees. I've changed the colours of things like the benches, just to really make the different greens pop, and I'd like to imagine I've done that. So if we just go up here now, oh, Sydney's just chilling out in the swamp, as you do. Yeah, if we go up here, this is where the campsite now currently lives. I'm still not convinced about whether the campsite will actually stay here, and I might just upgrade the museum and put it here, because like I mentioned previously, I did have an idea for what I wanted to do for the campsite, but if I do that, I'll make sure that it's done off camera. But for now, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that watched this far into the video. I apologise for the chaos and the mistakes that were made. Obviously it's such a large area that I couldn't do my usual planning and building and then taking down and working from my reference photos as I usually would. So there was plenty of things that I just had to do off the top of my head. But hopefully you enjoyed everything I did. If you enjoyed, please hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. And hopefully I'll see you in the next few videos. But until then, I want to say massive thank you, and of course, have a good one. Cheers guys, much love.